Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Horsepower Obsessed. Today we got a little bit of a cool video coming at you for detailing purposes. I recently reached out to a company for a spotless wash system that they have, and they sent me one. All right, guys, so the system sent to me comes from a place called No Spots Pro. I will link all their information right down at the bottom of the screen, as well as down in the description below, but ultimately, this is it. So it's actually a tank, a little bigger than a propane tank, and inside here is some resin that actually cleans up the water and takes everything out that causes water spots. What it means is basically it's a giant filter. It's gonna filter out chlorine, iron, anything that's in the water, and when the water dries on your car, that's the stuff that's left behind that creates that water spot. So as you can see, it's called No Spots Pro. This is it. I mean, it's fairly large. It's about, like I said, a little bigger than a propane tank, but with all of the stuff that I have for keeping the cars clean, this is really going to assist. After everything's scrubbed off the car, you would then turn on the No Spots Pro and hose it off. Once it's completely washed off with spot-free water, then I would use my Master Blaster to blow all the water off the car. And anything that's left, anything that blaster doesn't actually push off the car, should be filtered water. So at that point, nothing would dry and leave any spots. Now the Master Blaster is pretty good. I really like that unit. It works fantastically. But the biggest thing that you end up running into is you can't typically dry the car fast enough. Some of the water starts evaporating already creating water spots. This should help with that. This should really get you to the point where if any water is left on that car for any reason at all, that will not allow it to water spot. So let's get into setup. There is a couple things we have to do to get this thing ready to go, and I'm gonna show you how to do it now. Now, there are a couple little pieces that have to go on here. First things first, we're gonna pop out these actual yellow caps, basically just keep everything out and prepared for shipping. I'm really excited to use this thing though, guys, because I'll be honest with you, this has been something I've been tracking down for years now. There's all these different spot-free rinse guys out there and none of them have worked. I've tried all kinds of different solutions. I even tried making my own filter from buying canister style filters from Lowe's and hooking them up in conjunction with each other, and it has never been anything even close to something that would actually work. So I have a lot of faith in this. My tool of choice for the yellow caps on this guy. There it is. So this is the stuff we get in the box. This right here is going to be the actual shutoff valves. It's going to screw right on here just like that. The good part about this is if you shut these off, you can actually still run your water through this without actually going through the tank for filtration. You don't have to disconnect this every single time you want to use the regular water or anything, which is really awesome. This is a really nice looking setup. Like I said, I have high hopes for this thing, and if it works the way I think it's going to, I'm going to be incorporating this all the time on this channel. So get ready for that, guys. So the instructions say when you're putting this on to actually lube up the seals here with just some water. So I have a cup of water that I'm just going to put my finger in, run it over the seal, and then we're going to start getting it put on the actual filter here. Just want to basically get everything wet, and then you can install it in there. Once you have it pushed in there far enough, you should be able to just take these and start tightening them down. Once you get it tightened down, the gasket in here should be fully seated. You don't want to crank these down too tight. Just keep tightening them down until they stop turning, basically. You don't want to crank them anything past that. With the valve system here, right now they are both shut off, so the water would just literally come in here, pass through right here, and come right back out here. So nothing would be filtered in this particular arrangement. But if you wanted to open it up, you'd open up both of these, and then the water will go in, down through the tank, and out through here. So really a cool design. That way you can hook it up to your pressure washer or your garden hose and leave it hooked up. You don't have to be disconnecting it or anything whenever you don't want to actually be using the filtering element in here. For the most part, while you're washing, you'll leave that off. Anything you spray or any soap or anything you put on would be with these closed. And for the garden attachments, it's the same kind of thing. There's another rubber seal right here that I'll just lubricate up with a little bit of water, and then it will go right in here and tighten down. Lastly, these little pieces here will actually go in and screw in just like that to give you a threaded spot for your garden hose to attach to. Before you do, you're going to want to put on some Teflon tape on both sides of these just to make sure everything remains leak-free. In the actual kit for the filter, they're actually sending you the braided hose line to just connect to that and then connect over to the actual filter, so this part won't ever need to come off. So here's the final product. What's happening here is the water comes straight out of my spigot, goes into the actual tank, and then my garden hose is attached to the output, and that's where it's at. I typically take the garden hose with my quick attachment here out into the driveway to wash my car, and I connect my pressure washer to the actual garden hose end. This setup actually works extremely well. I'm very impressed with this tank. Like I said, this is something that I've been trying to do now for probably about 6 or 7 years, and I've never had any luck with actually getting this to work. So what we're going to actually do today is wash my car, and instead of drying it at the end, I'm actually just going to rinse it off with the filtered water from that tank on a black car. Before we continue, I just want to clarify something. I keep calling this thing a filter, but it's not really a filter. What's inside here is a bunch of resin that basically deionizes water. I'm going to keep calling it a filter, but just know that it's more of a deionization process than a filtering process. And finally, we have the water test, guys. So this is water right out of my tap. This is water out of my refrigerator, which has a filter on it. And then this is the water from the No Spots Pro. So in the actual package, they include this meter right here. As you can see there, it is called a TDS3. So TDS stands for total dissolved solids. Anything that's in this water that shouldn't be, such as iron, chlorine, etc. Stuff that has dissolved enough that looks clear in the water but still tastes bad, or in this case leaves water spots on your car. So what we're going to do is test each one of these water containers and see what kind of number we get on the TDS meter. Now, obviously, the higher this number is, the more dissolved solids are in the water. My water here isn't really hard or soft. It's somewhere in the middle. It's not filtered, obviously. It's right out of the tap, but overall, it's not bad water. It does, however, leave water spots on the car, so it's not good for that situation. Anyway, so for the meter itself, all you gotta do is just pop off this top here. And inside here, you can see there's two little prongs, and that's what you actually dip into the water to get a reading. So we'll go ahead and turn this guy on right here. Bam. So as you can see, it is reading zeros. So let's test my tap water first and see what we get. Okay. It's holding pretty solid there at 101. It drops back to 0 as soon as we take it out. So my tap water is 101. I will shake this off, blow it out. Still reading 0. So let's try my filtered refrigerator water. 96. All right, so those expensive refrigerator filters don't seem like they do that much. Big surprise. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and shake this off, blow it out. Now, as you can see, still reading zeros. Let's try the No Spots Pro water. Wow, okay, so much lower here, guys. 18. That's pretty impressive. Now, what's really impressive here is the fact that I've actually been using the No Spots Pro filter for about 2 months. So, like I said in a bunch of my other videos, guys, I don't want to say, yeah, hey, go buy this thing, it works great, without actually testing it out myself. So I've been using that for about 2 months as a spotless wash for my ZR1. And it's black, as you can see here. If it was gonna leave water spots, this is the color you would notice on. The reason I'm mentioning that is because the resin that's in that filter does eventually stop working. Or in this case, it slowly stops working. So 18 on this one is actually probably a little bit higher than what it would have been had I tested that as soon as I got that filter. I've seen other people getting results of single-digit numbers with this thing. So basically, the closer to 0 that number is, the better for water spots. As you can see, though, this takes my 101 number down to 18. And with that said, the 18 number leaves this car completely spot-free. And I'm gonna show you how spot-free right now. So as you can see, the car is clean. You can see all the suds and everything around. I wasn't gonna bore you guys with this process because I've already made a video on cleaning the car, but you can actually check that video out right up here if you wanna take a look at it. I wasn't gonna make you sit through it again. So the car is clean. It is washed down, everything's ready to go. Now it's time to go ahead and use the No Spots Pro. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on, and to activate this, all you gotta do is just turn these nozzles, just like so, and now it's activated. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do the final rinse. I'm gonna run a little bit of water through the hose just so I'm getting the actual filtered water from this. And we're gonna then back the car back into the garage, let it dry to show you guys what the results actually look like. All right, and there she is, all clean, all no spot pro'd. Basically, it is here to air dry. You can see the car's pretty wet. It's actually only like 40 degrees here in PA today, so there was no way this thing was drying outside. Hopefully by tomorrow, I'll have a nice picture for what this No Spots Pro deionization system will do for your car washing experience.
The next day.
It's still not overly warm outside, but the car is mostly dry. There's still some water beading here and there. The easiest place to really see water spots is on the glass. And I don't know how well this is gonna come through on camera, but there is none. There is no water spots on the glass here. The car, like I said, obviously black. It's gonna expose anything like that. I don't see any water spotting at all. So like I said, guys, I've used this No Spots Pro a couple different times, and I have been very happy with the results. I just want to make this video and show you guys firsthand how this thing actually works. It definitely makes washing the car much easier and much quicker. Now, with that said, nothing is perfect. So that does leave a water spot here and there. Nothing like what you would get out of your normal hose, but it doesn't completely remove everything from the water. As you saw earlier in the video, my water still hits around 18 to 20 on the TDS meter, so that means there's still a little bit of stuff left in my water here and there. Ideally, what I would do, as I showed in my car wash video, is I'd hit with the No Spots Pro, and then I would Master Blaster dry it. That really leaves the possibility of water spots basically to zero. But if you're in a pinch, like I was last night trying to wash the car real quick, hitting it with just that is gonna give you almost the exact same result. And that's awesome because that cuts down a lot of time on washing a car. Like I said though, guys, I'm gonna give that a big thumbs up. I'm very happy with the product. I'll put all the information down below. That's gonna do it for this video. If you liked what you saw, give me a big thumbs up. If you have any questions at all about the car wash procedure or the No Spots Pro deionization system, send me a message, horse.power.obsessed@gmail.com, or leave them down in the comments below. I do my best to respond to every one of them. If you guys have not subscribed to this channel yet, please do. I'm gonna have loads of C7 and C8 content coming that you're not gonna wanna miss. And as always, guys, I'll catch you in the next upload.